Good morning, everybody. It's Therese Auliffe here, and I'm here with my last video on the chakra system and offering you information on basically how to look after the energy flow that runs through your body at all times. So it's the 1st of May. I love the month of May. To me, the month of May is very precious and special and spiritual, and of course it's the month of Our Lady or the Blessed Virgin, and we have a different name for Mother Mary in different countries, and here in Ireland most people call her Mother Mary or the Blessed Virgin. So for me, the month of May is a really strong month. I'm just waiting to see if I have anybody joining me live here before I go into full flow with my final video on the chakra system. And as we know, I have been working on these vigilantly actually for 8 weeks because I missed 1 week in the middle. Good morning. I have somebody in with me. A few little comments would let me know if you have joined or not. And I'll go right into this, and starting with the base chakra. If you can remember, these are the colors of all the chakras. So we started on week 1 with the base chakra, which we call the root chakra, and the color for that was red. So it's, remember, our connection to the earth, our primal connection, and it's also about safety and security and feeling strong and anchored and grounded in the earth. Good morning, Margaret. It's good to see that I have people here with me, and even though I will repost it afterwards. So we started with the base chakra, and we remember that at a basic level that everything is made up of energy, and that the innate intelligence organizes the energy for us into meridians and chakras. And we remember that the chakras are the wheels of energy basically that are running through our body, that's bringing the life force for us to flow freely through us. And they can become blocked, or they can become stuck, or they can become overactive depending on how we're actually living out our life. So if we have the information on how to look after our chakras, how to look after our energy body and our energy system, and follow that to the best of our ability, we will experience life at a whole new level, because we will have that vital energy keeping us healthy and joyful and happy. And we've moved from the base all the way to the crown today. Now all the videos are inside in my Lighting the Way page, so if you want to work with them, I would suggest that you would start with the base chakra and work your way up. But you may be even aware of a blockage that you have in some particular area of your body, and then you could work with that chakra. But first of all, you do need to know what's out of sync and how it will feel for you if a particular chakra is out of sync. So we started with the base, and we said the color was red, and it was really about our stability, our security, our anchor to Mother Earth, really. And you know, it was all the basic needs, and that chakra, color red, facing down to the earth. Then we moved to the sacral or sacral chakra, which is the color orange. And remember we said it's just 1 hand, 3 finger width below our belly button, and that is our creative center, but it's also the center of our sexuality. So it's how we express ourselves in the world and how we feel about ourselves in the world. So it's really important for us to be able to express, not just through the voice, but through our creative expression, that we came in here to be, you know, so following the right livelihood, being in the right relationships that are conducive to our well-being and that are in alignment with our soul's purpose. So that's a, you know, very large area there. And then we moved above the navel. Do you remember we put the little finger here, and we had the solar plexus. So the solar plexus, it's, you know, it's the yellow, it's the bright sunny chakra, and it's all about our confidence and our self-esteem and our internal power, you know, not power over, but our authentic power. So the color being yellow, it's very vibrant, it's very alive, it's very feisty and zesty, and you know, it really is what gives us, I suppose, the ability to go out and be confident in following our soul's purpose. Then we came to the heart, which is really in the center of our chest, slightly above the physical heart to the left, and we talked about compassion, we talked about love, we talked about the unconditional love. So the color for that is the green. Okay, so we talked about going out into nature, walking on the grass, walking with trees, walking in the forest, and just connecting. We talked about all of the ways to open the heart chakra. And we also talked about it being the connector between the 3 lower chakras, which are really about the physical plane, and then the 3 higher chakras, which really, I suppose, open you up to pure consciousness. We came to the throat center, which is really about expression. And again, the color is soft blue for that. And the videos are all in there. So I really would encourage you to just watch them. We've plenty of time, even take one here and there and just watch it and maybe do a meditation on that particular center and check in and see how you're doing with that. So that really is about hearing as well. So it's about silence, it's about sound, it's about listening, and it really is about expressing that. So we talked about getting the confidence here, but we talked about the full expression, so bringing it into the physical plane that we're on. Then we move to the third eye center, and the third eye really is about our inner knowing. Remember, we talked about the color violet, and we talked about the inner knowing for, indigo, and we talked about the inner knowing. So it's really the eye that looks in at all times. So it's that eye that knows your purpose, knows what you're about, knows what's good and what's bad for you, and without the labels. So knowing what feels right. Remember, we talked about it coming into real spaciousness, and we talked about making sure that we anchor, you know, all of that knowing, and to be able to express it. So the third eye is huge because it is our eye for clairvoyance, and we talked about the 4 clairs. So again, just go back because there's quite a lot in that center, because it's quite a high center. We talked about different crystals that would help to open it, different clothing, different things you can do basically to express the fullness of that chakra. And we have moved all the ways up now to the crown center. So here we have all of the chakras, you know, the colors, there they are, with all the symbols. And today we're actually on the crown. So the color is violet, okay, but it's violet going into white. So it's violet close to the head, and then it goes up into pure white. So if you could imagine, you know, really, I always say, you know, the fontanelle, you know, where the little baby's head is still open. Actually, mine never closed. So, you know, that little dip there on top of your head, it's there really, you know. So some people say if you put your thumbs in your ears and you just where your fingers touch. So it's really in the center of your head. But if you think about this chakra more as a funnel, it is a wheel of energy, but it's like a funnel that goes up and out. Okay, so it's moving into pure consciousness, and the further it moves up from your head, the more the color becomes white. And we know that white contains all of the colors. Okay, so it really is encompassing all. So it's about oneness, it's about everything, it's about pure consciousness. And I've written down the name of it because in Sanskrit it's Sahasrara, and that is 1,000 petaled lotus. Okay, so it's 1,000 petals really. So, you know, it's pure consciousness. And I suppose we're all looking to be able to channel the divine energy in, so that we will get a cleanse and a higher feeling. But it's really important that we also connect our human mind with this energy, so that we can release through this chakra. Because you know, if this chakra becomes blocked, I have a huge amount of notes written down, but it can cause a huge amount of problems for us here. A lot of problems that will be attached to the nervous system, you know. So we really do need to unblock it as well. It's a massive center, you know. It's the final one, so it's really our connection to our divinity. I have so much respect for the chakra system, and that's why I would really like to pass on, you know, some of this is basic, and you know, you've seen it all before, but we all need to be reminded. I remember when I suppose started my spiritual journey, which, oh good dearie me, it's a long time ago. It was actually my birthday yesterday, and somebody connected with me. That was my yoga teacher years and years and years ago, when I started to open, and it's more than 20 years ago. and I just felt so, I suppose, delighted that she connected with me, and she offered me also to pass on some of her stuff to me. So I was like, oh my God, I will cherish it forevermore, because really, you know, there's always somebody that will instigate something to just open up in us. And, you know, it's just my job to help you to align to whatever is right for you. And if we can understand what happens with our energy and the vibration of each center, because each center has its own vibration, and it's really important that we work with that particular center, even though they're all working as one whole. So like some people say, it is our connection to divinity, and it is our part of divinity, and yes, it is, but so are all the other chakras, you know. So if you think about it, we are a manifestation of the divine in human form. So it's really important that we take that on board. A few little bits and pieces just to make sure I don't miss out on anything. I said the colour is violet going into white. So I've tried my best to wear the colour that represents each chakra, and that would be a really good idea for all of you to do if you're working on that particular chakra. And somebody showed me shoes that they bought this week, and they have all the chakra colours on them. Little dolly pumps, you know, and I just thought they are really, really nice. But there is a little word of caution, because if we have that on our feet, yeah, it's balancing, but we need to feel grounded and centered, you know, and colour is a vibration in itself. So if we're feeling off balance or like all high and we just cannot concentrate on anything, it's really important to look after the base and the 3 lower chakras. So we're not always just going to be floating off and not grounded, because we won't get anything done, and then we will get completely out of whack, you know. So they're beautiful, and her shoes are absolutely gorgeous, and I'd wear them myself, but I would make sure that I didn't wear them every day, all day. So it's for clarity, connection to divinity, connection to angels, connection to spirits, or connection to our loved ones on the other side. It's all in here. Our belief systems are held here. And I suppose it's all about divine consciousness, really. So it's the highest vibration of our chakra system that's available to us, because it is the funnel that goes up and connects us exactly to that complete divine energy. So that oneness. So it really, once we put everything in place, we're ready to accept the higher vibration of energy. So there are so many things you can do, obviously, to help this chakra. And because it's of high vibration, it's, you know, about joy and happiness and purpose and awareness and consciousness. But we need to make sure that we understand what we have to do to ground that and integrate it into our human life, because we're chosen to come here and have the human experiences. So activities for the chakra, there are many. I'll just go through a few. So obviously meditation. Meditation quietens the mind, and it also allows our human mind to connect with divine mind, and it just brings in inspired understandings and knowledge and feelings of peace and elevated space and mood. So meditation, even to do a few minutes and start off and just build it up and build it up and build it up, is obviously really, really, really important for the crown chakra. Getting quiet is obviously really important, and for me, I will always say getting out into nature, because in nature you see the connectedness with everything, you see the oneness of all, you see that nothing is forced, that everything just is. If we humans stay out of the picture, you know, everything would just grow by itself. The dead leaves fall off, the old flowers fall off. You know, I was walking in the forest just up the road the other day, and there was like a blanket of dead leaves fertilizing the ground. I just want to bring you over one leaf to show you that I brought home. And I just, sorry now, but I just couldn't help but bring this leaf home. Look at it. See the spine inside in the leaf, you know, and all the jagged bits. It's dried out, it's like a feather. I just felt that I just wanted to bring the energy of the forest home, and I just brought one leaf. And I just think that getting out into nature and being conscious while we're in nature and just slowing ourselves down, it will really help this chakra. And notice the little buds that are there, notice the flowers as they open. And at the moment, I'm sure you're all noticing, like I am, that there are many more bees and many more butterflies and many more birds, and we can hear them because we don't have all that external noise that's there. So there are messages here for us. You know, our crown chakra is becoming aware during this time of quiet. So it's really important for us to acknowledge it. And anybody that's here in with me watching this and listening is already aware, you know. So, you know, it's really nice to see you all here. And I encourage you from the depth of my heart to keep going, keep going, keep going. Because, you know, that's what we're all on. We're all on a path of evolution. And it's so important, you know, because you could be just that far away from breaking through. And, you know, what is that? There is a poem, you might succeed at another blow, when all your worries and you think you're just going uphill, you know, you could be much closer than you think you are. So just keep going. I'm getting into nature and going off the point a little here, but it's all important. So I suppose, you know, in a lot of, and I'm talking about spirituality, but I'm talking about some of the habits and some of the principles that were inside in organized religions, or that are, would have their basis in a very pure place. And like fasting was one of them. I can remember, you know, I was brought up as a Catholic and we used to always go to mass on a Sunday, but you fasted from the night before, so you weren't allowed to have your breakfast. We walked a few miles to mass, and that was to be pure for the Holy Spirit. You know, that's what my mother told us it was. But what I believe now is that fasting allows our body to start noticing what's going on and all of the functions, and it also clears this space for us so that we do have a greater appreciation of a piece of food when we receive it, and that our body is in a lighter state because it's not working to process anything, so it is open to receiving. That's my understanding of it now. So even I'm not, and fasting is something that I'm not saying, oh God, go out and fast, because it has to be monitored, it has to be safe. So I would ever only fast for maybe 6 hours or 12 hours, and I actually haven't done a fasting period for a long time, but except for nighttime, obviously. I usually take about, I wouldn't eat for 4 or 5 hours before I'd go to bed, and then I'd be in bed for 8 hours. So that would be a 12-hour fast. And sleeping actually is really important for the crown center. The crown center is very connected to the pituitary gland. Okay, now I could delve into this really deep, but you can research this yourself, or at a later stage I'm going to be offering a program. Now there'll be way more than the chakras in it. It's called Magnificent Me. I'm only in the process of creating it, and it will be with my new website, and it will be really about developing ourselves thoroughly, and there will be quite a lot of depth in everything I do. But in the pituitary gland, when night comes and everything is dark and we go to sleep, it's really quite important that we don't have lights and things on, because it's in that darkness that melatonin is released, and melatonin allows us to connect with our divinity, and it allows us to close off all the activity that's going on in the brain so that we can connect. But it's also the chemical, we call it the sleep chemical, you know. So I'm not talking about buying it in a form that we can ingest it. I'm actually talking about our body producing melatonin, and that is really, really, really powerful for the crown chakra. So it's really important that we do give ourselves the opportunity of sleep, and to make sure that our rooms are dark, you know, that you don't have lights on in the landing and all of that, because that darkness is needed for the closure of the daytime and the opening to the pituitary gland being able to release the melatonin. And it is a chemical that also produces great peace and great joy within the body. So it's also considered the natural process that helps us for longevity. So I know we talk about the thymus gland and the thymus thumb, but we also talk about the pituitary gland. Okay, so if we want to be youthful for longer, we look after our crown chakra. Obviously prayer and developing a love for divine love and understanding yourself as a divine being, because you know there's a great reward. It's like serenity and joy and peace is the result, and having a deeper meaning for life. Again, anything that's joyful, singing, dancing, being happy, laughing, it's all really, really, really important for this chakra, you know. And I know we're all kind of, you know, hurdled in our own spaces at the moment, and we're actually missing that community spirit and connection where we can chatter and we can laugh and we can joke. Even last night, we had a video call with all of the kids because it was my birthday, and oh, we were laughing and joking. We said we would, you know, do a 20-minute call. I had my partner got a beautiful birthday cake and things for me and candles, and we said we would blow out the candles together, but we spent an hour and a half, and most of it was just being funny and silly and laughing, and just makes you feel so good. So that's really important for here. So whatever you can do to allow yourself to be happy, please do that, okay? Because it'll allow you to experience your own divine nature. And I suppose I wrote down that the challenge really is to liberate the spirit, you know, because we're so conditioned into just having the physical life, the human life, opening up to divine. And then when we do that, to stay rooted, okay, so I'm talking about integrating it, okay? Not floating off into space and not being able to really connect and communicate with people here and not wanting to be here. We need to integrate it and stay rooted. So really, I suppose we want to release any anger or anything that's pent up within us and release it safely, and just allow ourselves to open up to that pureness that we are, because we really are that pureness. So it's your connection to the universe. It is your connection to your own spirit. And okay, you will receive insights from higher realms once you have this chakra functioning optimally. And again, I'm talking about grounding that. So we talk about, you know, mediums and healers and all people that really connect, like monks, and we just allow the energy first, as I said, the energy of the mind to be released. So if we have a lot of thoughts that are not of the highest vibration, it's really important to send them up the funnel to be transmuted, okay? And the violet light will transmute them for you, and then the, you know, the pure white energy will start to filter right in. And if you allow yourself to get quiet, you will absorb that, and you will have lovely intuitive understandings and knowings. And it depends on how you respond and how you receive the information. You know, we talked about the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairconscience, the clairsentience, the four clairs. And if you look back on the chakra videos, you'll get all this information, and you will be able to utilize it in your life. You will feel like contented and relaxed and at ease, but very powerful in your own standing. So you will be able to understand that you never really have to think about, oh, I need to set a boundary there, because it will be so innate for you that you will never, and it's done with unconditional, compassionate love, that people won't even want to step over your boundaries, because they will actually understand from your auric field that this is not right, or this, you know, this is something I just don't do with this person. And it's really, really easy once you're in that place. People just accept you for the presence that you are, and that's what it is. It's presence, okay? So once you have this chakra functioning, it dispels confusion, energizes you, helps you to reach to highest potentials, and it allows you to trust yourself spiritually. So, you know, I'm sure all of us have at some stage been told, you know, who do you think you are? Like, you're too big for your boots. All of these things. But we're never too big for our boots, because, you know, we were born to stand out. We're magnificent beings of pure divine light and love, and we need to own it and trust it And once we open up this center, that happens automatically. We don't even think about it anymore. So the confusion isn't there. We know. We just know. Okay, so if it's not functioning really well, it can cause epilepsy, bone cancer, nervous system disorders, glandular disorders, headaches, mental illness, loneliness, dementia, amnesia. So a lot of what we talked about already. So what I didn't say, and it's just coming into my mind as I say this, we can get trapped energy in any of the centers. And if there's lots trapped energy in the crown center, we can actually get a lot of headaches. And I will have to say that from personal experience, I understand this, because I've had a lot of headaches, and I understand now that it's because I had trapped energy in my crown center. So to release that, I work a lot with bringing energy through for people and sending energy out, but it's really important that I release it. So head massage is really good. Or, you know, if you physically, intentionally decide to just open up the center and send it off, you know, it will just clear it, and the headaches go with it. So that's just another little tip for you. So balls of light, balls of white light. So you can imagine that you're receiving the white light. Just place it on top of your head and leave it there. That's another beautiful way to energize this center. And I had something else written here. I just need to put my hand on it. Okay. So it's an affirmation. Okay. I am complete and one with the divine energy. So that would be something that would be really nice for the health of your crown center. So really it's our daily ability to connect with spirit, to connect with our own divinity, and to connect with the oneness of all. And that is really where our connection point is. Okay, if it's overactive, it's a good idea to ground. Okay, so we talked about the base chakra and we talked about anchoring. So if you feel it's overactive and you're floating off and you're kind of, you know, not really with it, and you can't really listen to people, or you're not getting, you know, your ordinary everyday life in balance, it would be a good idea just to walk barefoot out on the grass or at the sea if you're beside the sea, or wherever you can. Okay, so just walking and earthing and grounding, going back to base chakra activities. Okay, watching sunsets and, you know, having the color red, eating red foods and that. So that would be allowing yourself to feel well grounded in the physical and personal life is really important if you're feeling that you're overactive. And check out all of your chakras and see if one of them is overcompensating, and just work on that center then. And that's really, I suppose, what I have to say there. The central nervous system, the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, they're very much governed by this chakra. And we talked a lot about that, and you could go into that in great depth. But you could Google it and look it up if you are really curious about it. So there's the chakra crystal. Okay, so it's white. Okay, so as I said, it moves into pure white. So it's about thought as well. So if we so thought and spirit, okay, so if we just think about it like that. I'm looking at my flip chart now because I have a few points written in. I just want to make sure that I give you everything that I can here today. So I've said cosmic consciousness and interior peace. Okay, so we talked about all of that. It represents the complete understanding of pure oneness to all that is, which is really what life is and what life is all about. I know I am one with God, greatest omnipotent, whose strength and power lovingly flows through me at all times. So meditation, choosing to love yourself fully. And when you love yourself fully, it's easy to love everybody else fully. But you have to start with loving you as a divine being. So once you have this chakra balance, you will fully step into your divinity. And you don't even have to think about loving yourself, because you will ooze pure love. That's what you are. You're pure love. You're a divine being of love, joy, peace, serenity. And you're here to express that in the world and to experience human life. Reach out to others in service. So how can you do that? And it will offer you many, many rewards. So you might think about that one. How could you reach out to others in service? Pretty easy at the moment. Connect with your own light and allow your light to guide you, and it will. Listen to the voice of the deeper you. Learn to let go of the ego. Okay, so this is where they meet. Okay, so it's the divine mind and the human mind. Okay, so if we can just release and let it go, you will filter in the pure divine thoughts and the divine knowing. Remember what Wayne Dyer used to say, ego was edging God out. Okay, so we want to welcome God in and be at one with God. Acknowledge our divinity. Now that's kind of a lot of information, a lot to take in today. It's huge really, because if we've worked through all our energy systems and we're totally ready now to open up and to receive, it's the purest state that we can be in. So I have promised myself that during the month of May that I will work with my own divinity quite a lot, so you won't see as much of me for the month. I will today do an angel card reading for the month of May, and I will post that on YouTube, so please subscribe to that channel. I will put it up here on Facebook once I have it done, but it's much easier for me not to have to share it. And if people are subscribed, they'll just get updates to say there's something there, because I'm also going to create at some stage during this month a beautiful video to help clear and balance and regulate all of the chakras. At some stage during the month I will do that, and I will post it on YouTube, because if it's on YouTube you'll get to see it anytime you want, and if it's on Facebook it tends to get lost. And you know, I created these on Facebook. I'm going to see if I can upload them to YouTube, but I don't think that's very probable. You can share from YouTube to Facebook very easily. I did once manage to do it, I can't remember how I did it, but there are 7, so I'll see if I can. But I will do a beautiful video, which will be a meditation really. It will be a guided visualization to help us all to have our chakras spinning, and that if we feel out of balance that we can just click on it and, you know, relax, go to sleep listening to it, put it on when we're, you know, sitting out in the garden or something, and just relax at lunchtime. It's really, really nice thing to do. So namaste. God bless you all. Have a beautiful month of May.